One pinch, one pour, and a plain glass of lemonade becomes the thing every kid at the party holds up to the light. 30 seconds of work. So why does it go wrong in so many kitchens?
Because it went wrong in mine. I bought the jar. I stirred a spoonful into a pitcher of punch an hour before the guests came, and by serving time, the sparkle was a sad gold layer on the bottom. So today, I want actual steps.
Welcome to the Monégasque Table. And you'll get them. This is the technique episode. How to use edible glittering drinks step by step so it works on the first pour.
No theory. Steps.
Steps. And here's the answer up front, because the whole method fits in one breath. Step 1, pick a drink you can see through. Step 2, add a pinch. The serving printed on the jar is 0.1 grams per drink. Step 3, 1 stir or let the bubbles do it. Step 4, serve it while it's still moving. That's the entire craft. The rest of the episode is doing those steps well.
4 steps, and my pitcher broke at least 2 of them. I can feel it.
3, actually. We'll collect them as we go. Step 1, the drink itself. This is where more sparkle dies than anywhere else. Reviewers across this whole category keep landing on the same sentence. It works best with clear drinks, sparkling lemonade, champagne, a gin and tonic, white grape juice for the kids' table. If light can travel through the drink, the sparkle has a stage.
Okay, but real menus aren't clear. My party punch is red. Cranberry, ginger ale, the whole thing. Are you telling me red is out?
No. And this distinction saves your punch. Clear doesn't mean colorless. It means see-through. Hold a glass up to the window. If you can see your fingers through it, glitter will read. A red punch turns into a garnet swirl, one of the prettiest effects there is. What kills sparkle is opaque. Milk, coffee, cola, hot cocoa. In those, the shimmer's in the glass, and no one will ever see it.
See-through, not colorless. My punch lives. Step 2, then, the amount. Be honest, because 0.1 grams is not a number. It's a rounding error. No kitchen scale I own can even see it.
Nobody weighs it. A pinch between 2 fingers is the serving. That's the whole measurement. And the guidance on the jar adds one option. Double the serving if you want a richer color.
And there's my problem. Double it for richer color is the jar politely asking me to empty it twice as fast. Every shampoo bottle in history has pulled this move.
Fair suspicion. So let's do the division. At a pinch, a glass, a 10-gram jar pours about 100 drinks. That's maybe 10 to 15 cents of glitter in each one. Double it, and your showstopper glass costs 30 cents. The doubling isn't a trap. The numbers are too small to be a trap. But I'll half agree with you. In a fizzy drink, you rarely need it. Motion is what makes sparkle red, not volume. A moving pinch outsparkles a sitting spoonful every time.
A moving pinch beats a sitting spoonful. Fine. That's going on an index card on my fridge.
Which brings us to step 3, the one that actually murdered your pitcher. How you add it. Sparkle lab moment. 2 sentences of science.
The lab is open.
This is a mineral powder, and it's almost insoluble in water. It will never dissolve. Not in punch, not overnight. And drink glitter flakes run 50 to 500 microns, exactly the size that catches light and stays suspended while the liquid moves. Put those together and the method falls out. The glitter doesn't melt into the drink like sugar. It rides the current. No current, no show.
So my mistake wasn't the spoonful. It was the hour. I gave it 60 quiet minutes to sink.
That's it exactly. So, 2 ways to add it. Pinch into the empty glass first, then pour the drink on top. The pour is the stir. The tumble wakes every flake on its way in. Or, for a drink that's already poured, sprinkle the pinch on the surface and swirl as you hand it over. And if it's bubbly, champagne, seltzer, ginger ale. The carbonation is a built-in stirrer, lifting the flakes for you all night.
Now defend step 4, because serve it while it's moving sounds lovely for one cocktail and like a fantasy at an actual party. A punch bowl sits on the table for 2 hours. Nobody stands there stirring it like a cauldron. By cake time, my garnet swirl is sediment again.
That's the round you win. A big, still, standing bowl is the worst case there is. Lots of liquid, no bubbles, no motion. Standing punch settles. Any jar, any pinch, anybody's label. The physics doesn't care.
Thank you. So what do I actually do on Saturday?
You stop glittering the bowl and glitter the cups instead. A pinch in each empty cup lined up on the table. Ladle punch over as each kid comes through, and the pour does the stirring. Every cup gets its swirl the second it lands in a hand. You've moved the sparkle from the bowl, where it dies, to the handoff, where it performs.
Every kid gets their own little show. Honestly, that's better than the sparkly bowl I was picturing.
And that's the real lesson of step 4. Serve it moving doesn't mean babysit the drink. It means put the sparkle as close to the handoff as you can. The cup goes up, the afternoon light comes through the window, the swirl is still turning. That's the moment you bought the jar for. A pinch and 10 seconds of timing.
All right, one more from me, because I can hear a listener mid-eye roll going, "This all sounds fussy? Is it?"
It isn't. And don't take my word for it. In this category's positive reviews, the theme that comes up more than any other, more than color, more than price, is how easy it is to use. Pinch, pour, done is the real skill level. We just spent an episode on the sliver that separates fine from magic.
Now the honest segment. Who should skip this entirely?
3 people. If everything on your menu is opaque, the cola and chocolate milk crowd, skip it. You'd be paying for sparkle no one can see. If your winter drink is hot, cocoa, that's a topping job, not an in-glass job. And if you're hoping it changes the taste, it won't. It's a flavorless mineral shimmer, not a syrup.
Scorecard time. I walked in with a dead pitcher and I'm leaving with a system. 1, see-through beats colorless. If I can see my fingers through the drink, it'll sparkle, and my red punch is back on the menu. 2, the pinch is the serving, 0.1 grams, and doubling is for drama, not a requirement. 3, it never dissolves, so something has to move it. Bubbles, a swirl, or the pour itself. 4, glitter the cup, not the bowl. And the caveats I keep: standing punch settles, opaque drinks are a lost cause, and no jar on earth changes either.
That's the technique, complete. One footnote, if you want the jar that's built for exactly this, the Mun JASQUE Iconic Gold Drink Glitter, the 10-gram jar, is on Amazon. Flake style, made to stay visible in the glass, and the jar behind today's math. Over 400,000 orders across the US, Canada, and the UK, sitting at 4.6 stars.
And next week?
Next week, we finally leave the glass, because the question that always follows this one is, what can you put edible glitter on? Cakes, sure, but strawberries? Chocolate? Cookies? The full map of where sparkle belongs next time.
My cupcakes have been waiting for this one.
Quick note before we go, this show is produced by the team at Monégasque with AI-crafted hosts, and every number you heard was checked by humans against the documents. See you at the table.